And we're live. 2:06.
Not my fault.
Nope.
I was here on time.
We're here on time.
Computer exploded.
Hmm.
And I think we're good.
We're all good now.
Yeah. Another Friday. This life is going by too fast, you know?
It does go by quickly.
Too much happening too quickly. You need to slow it down a little bit.
Let's see what I can do.
Yeah. I'm feeling a little beat up today, man. I did 100 thrusters for time. That was horrible. At
what, 95?
115.
Ooh.
Yeah, God.
That's terrible.
My freaking hip already was hurting.
How long did that take?
21 minutes or something like that. Yeah. Well, it was a team of two. We each had to do 100. And every 2 minutes you had to do 4 burpees.
That's
Yeah.
awful.
Yeah. It was at like 38 total between the two of us. I was like, there's no way I'm going to die. So if my hip wasn't hurting, I would have been fine. But then I started thinking, wow, then what about my back? And then I'm thinking about my hip and my back like an old lady. Like I'm dying or something. We got through it. It took 21 minutes and feel better for it. Got in the cold plunge. Been cold plunging it up. It is something else.
What temperature are you at right now?
I'm at 46. Ooh. Yeah.
I've never been in water that cold.
Yeah, I mean, when you get in, it just takes your breath away immediately. It just sucks the life right out of you, right? And so I get in, shoulders, hands, the whole thing. And then I'm sort of developing a routine here. And then for the first 30 seconds or so, you're just trying to catch your breath. And then mine has a little jet in it, so it doesn't like let the water kind of let you build like a little thermal barrier around you. And so the water's always moving. I try to like move my legs and, move around just so that I can stay in it. And then you fight to a minute. First minute usually goes by pretty quickly. And then the real fight comes on. So then I try to lean my head back and just breathe, focus on, breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth, sort of breathe in whatever it is, a 6-second exhale, so mainly exhale. And then what I'll do is then I'll put my whole head in at like right around a minute 45 to 2 minutes. That kind of gives me a little revamp, and I pull my hands out. So believe it or not, the weird thing is if you keep your hands out, because your hands start to get frostbite first, And so I found that if I get my hands in, it's just more painful. And so I keep my hands in for about the first minute and a half, and then I take my hands out, and I just leave it out after I dunk my head in. And that gives you another little shock. And then you just fight the last minute.
So 3 minutes total? That's
Yeah. And then you get out, and what I did the first few days, just because of timing, I'm like, I got to go take a shower. Because I've been doing it at frickin' 6 a.m., go to the gym at 5, 6 a.m., and I'm going back to sleep, So I'm going back, try to sleep, and I sleep for like 45 minutes. But you want to talk about a great feeling. Go take a shower, put on a bunch of clothes, and go, snuggle up, pull the comforter over, and shiver yourself back to sleep for 45 minutes or so. But what I've been doing instead, which I think is a smarter move, is today I got out and then I went and washed my car while I'm like, and you feel your body coming back up to temp, and so you're burning calories and fighting your way, and that's when all the endorphins are released and all that crap. I mean, the whole thing is a fad and probably a bunch of nonsense, but there's something real that's happening. It's like a induced panic attack that I'm in control of. Right. I could always get out of the water, and then that release of whatever epinephrine, I don't know what it is, the release of adrenaline, that then you get out and your body's fighting its way back up to temp, and it's the fortitude required to do it that I think is the real win for me. And so as part of my 5-prong plan, it seems to be working. I'm driving my rear end to the gym, and nice. Next up I'm trying to get to Santos, and I've been driving my GT3 around a lot, so I'm making some progress here. So my 5-prong plan is on track. I hit 223.2 this morning, which is certainly the lowest I've been in since 2014. I think, when I first went crazy, I got down to like 203 or something like that. And then once the Prozac kicked in, it was like fatness rocket fuel. So sleeping all day and eating everything in sight. and no energy to do much. And so I'm also got my muscle ups back. So doing some muscle ups the other day. That's good. Everything just feels easier when you're lighter. Burpees felt like I was doing it in a different person's body today.
Yeah, how much have you lost total? 20 something?
Yeah, I mean, I figure I probably flirted with 250, so 248, something like that is what I'm saying. 248 was my recent peak. That's what my starting weight was. And so if I'm 223, I'm losing some serious poundage. I'm down 25-ish pounds. And if I get down, I don't really have a number or a target. It'd be kind of cool to see what it would feel like if I was 205. What would that be like? But I'm telling you, my Huberman supplementation plan, I think that's playing a pretty key role as well, and energy. And yesterday I went home, left here at like 3:30 or something like that. I just sat on the couch while I was working on the coking catalog. That's the first time I've been on the darn couch in weeks. Like I just keep moving, keep going. Feel like I have twice the energy. I'm pretty pumped about it. I should have done this a long time ago.
That's awesome. And no zebra cakes, no temptation, right?
No, not really. I mean, I don't really have any desire for it. I don't want to mess it up. Once you kind of get on a roll, and you get kind of used to carnivore. I'm like 90% carnivore. I'll have some like fruit. Like I had some raspberries this morning after the gym. Generally speaking, I'm just eating meat. And avoiding the junk, the refined sugars and all that crap. And then I'm sure I'll add in, some more fruit as time goes on. I don't really intend to add vegetables in. I still think that, if you're, eating all brand cereal and wheat stuff because you're, 1970s, doctors said you should be taking in some fiber. I just don't buy it. Like I don't have any like I don't feel like your stomach gargling and all that crap when you're eating shredded wheat and stuff. There's a reason. There's got to be a reason for that. So if you can fight through it, and I don't know that it's sustainable to stay in carnivore for the rest of my life, but I think you can cure a lot of ails by staying simple like that. Elimination diet.
Let's see. We'll get to a couple questions here from the chat. Kevin wants to know, and Nathan answered this, but we'll see if you know the answer here. Will the new Boss foam cannon fit on the wall mount cannon mount due to its size?
Oh yeah. I've got 3 of them at home at the on my you can see it in the wash and talks where I have the one for the Built Hamper pre-rinsing stuff, one for the wheel cleaner, and one for the regular soap, whatever I'm using, the foam.
And then he has a compliment for you here. He says, for the record, I watch every video, not only for the content, but more importantly, the entrepreneurship and thought process of how Matt thinks. It's a rare talent to be a visionary and implementer.
I mean, that was always my intent, was the in-betweens, right? I used to talk about this a lot, is that, yes, I'm washing a car. Yes, we're here to learn together how to wash the car and work on the wheels and do all that stuff, choose products. But I think the in-between is where the authenticness comes in, where we develop a real relationship. Whether I meet you in person or not, I think that we share something by the words in between. And I feel like I've gotten much better at sticking to the words in between. And, sometimes I have to fight back a little bit. But in general, I feel like that stuff, as I'm discovering things and making mistakes along the way. And I've been lucky in that I don't really give a crap if people think that I'm stupid. As long as I know that, I would rather share the wins and losses along the way.
Luca wants to know, he's been watching Inside the Hex here, I think. He says, would the possible purchase of a new building put Canada on hold?
Yeah, this is what I'm working on. It depends on how it works out. I retained and hired the accountants that I need. We're booking and setting up an appointment with an immigration attorney because I have some American citizens that have expressed interest in going up there and helping me set this up. And I think that realistically, my January 1st plan was probably a bit optimistic to begin with. And so if it works out like I'm hoping, where I can sell the 42 building, recover the down payment that I have to pay, because that's the money we've sort of allocated toward the initial purchase in Canada, I think that realistically we may see a quarter, like 2-3 months, something like that, a little longer than what I originally thought. We'll see how it goes, but my intent is to hopefully stay on track, and cash is going to dictate that. How much are we selling? What's the economy look like? But Canada's still a strong go, and I'm working through getting on the corporate structure set up, so that'll be ready to go. So that way, when I am ready, I can fly up there, find a building, lease it, and get moving.
Couple quick garage questions for you. First one is from James. It's a lighting question. He's building a 30 by 40 shop, got 10-foot walls. The peak will be about 13 feet on the inside.
Yep.
How many overhead lights would I need if I go with the 6-bulb option?
10 by 40. What do you
30 by 40.
30 by 40.
10-foot walls. The peak is 13 feet on the inside.
So I would do 3 rows, roughly, do it symmetrically. Take it and, divide it, or whatever, divide it by 4, I guess. It would be 1, 2, divided by 5. Is that how you do it? Just put them, symmetrically, 3 rows across. And then I would do at least 4 rows deep. I definitely do 6 bulb because of the size of it, and your height. You have plenty of height to work with. So I would do 3 rows by 4 rows, possibly 3 rows by 5. OGHQ here has 3 by 6. Because I put extra light in. But three rows of 5 would probably be sufficient. So I'd put them long ways on the 30-foot and then go 4 rows or 5 rows back. So you'd be okay with 4. 5 would make it so that you could overlight it and really cover a bit more.
All right, this one, excuse me, is audio in the garage. He's got a 3-car garage, Alex does.
Yep.
Paired to an SB2000.
Okay.
EMIT 20s and Power Node Edge, or LYD 8s and a Node?
I think I'd probably rather have LYD 8s in there. The LYD 8s just have an amplifier that's like perfectly matched to them. The emits with the Power Node, it works well. I would rather have like a C388 on a set of emits if I had the choice. So I think out of those two, I think I would choose the LYDs because they have their own amplifiers built in, and do the Node. Oh, by the way, the Node is on special. I think it started where I think they're like $150 off or something like that. So I don't know if we've reflected that yet. Yeah, we need to fix that. I sent it to Tommy, so put that on your list.
Node and Power Node.
Yeah, shoot Chris an email if you want to buy it, and he'll track it down for us. But I believe it's right now. It's the Node that's on sale. It's normally $599. I think it's $449. I think is the price. Okay. So they're going to run a promotion from now through the end of the year. It may not have started just yet, but that would probably make it even more enticing to do the LYDs.
All right, let's see. Self-healing Jose wants to know, do you need a 20-amp circuit for the Boss foam cannon?
It depends on your pressure washer. I mean, if your pressure washer doesn't need it, the Boss uses the same kind of orifice as an MTM and every other foam cannon. So, if you have a 1.25 or a 1.1, depending on your pressure washer, so the foam cannon is not really going to affect it that much. Now, if you have a Krenzla 1.25 on a K1322, means you need a 20 amp.
Let's see here. Tim Brown says, "Welcome back, Chris." Thanks, Tim. I'm glad you missed me. Matt said he missed me too last week.
No, I didn't. Okay.
Yeah. Matt, what's the best 10 to 20 gallon air compressor for about an $800 budget? Wes wants to know.
I haven't figured that out yet. Part of my plan at SEMA is tools and compressors. I need to get back on that trail again. Right now I would do a Jenny but it's not going to be $800. It'd probably be more like $1,800. And so I'm not sure about that price point. I'm not a big fan of the California Air Tool stuff that is in that price point. So I don't have an answer for you, but someday I need to figure that out.
Zerwich04 says 446,000 subscribers. Wowzers. Well done, guys.
Yeah, I'm pretty optimistic about the momentum that we're about to, I think, start to see when we do this Adam LZ project. That is a go. November 13th is a start. All the products are rolling in. We're filling up his garage next to the house. We got dumpsters booked. We've got contractors booked. Basically the general contractor. And so Susie and I have been really digging in, getting this all set up. Laurel's been worked her face off to get it all done. And so we're planning to start demo the 13th, tile the 27th, the first Monday after Thanksgiving. So it gives us about 10 days to get demo done, get the tile up, get the stuff out. I hooked up Adam with my buddies at Village Mover to go out there and move all the stuff. And then we're going to start taking out cabinets and flooring and start chopping walls out, and we're going to be moving fast. I'm going to be staying in Scott's Prevost. And we're going to be doing a silenced Krensla install as well as like a sonic tool chest. So there's going to be some side projects as well. I'd like to get Adam's wash bay up to spec. I'll be doing some wash and talks with some of his cars. It'll be kind of cool. We're planning to do some dry ice stuff while we're down there as well, and do some dry ice cleaning of like maybe the Midnight Purple 3, and maybe he has another I think an E36 that we're going to do some real restorative work on with dry ice. So I think combined with the fact, another thing that I'm working on is LZ is there's gonna be an LZ OG collab shirt on obsessgarage.com in my style, and there's gonna be an LZ OG collab shirt on Adam's site on lzmfg.com, and then I think we're probably gonna do an OG Colette, like pink and teal shirt, or OG version, something like that would be kind of cool. So we're going to have those, and I'm hoping I can sell enough shirts to pay for my rentals of these fancy Prevosts. So that's the plan. So we're going to start November 13th, and the goal is to finish it by January 15th. I think we can do it.
All right, so 2 months with maybe a little break in there. Right?
NAD Blue Sound is on board, so they're going to help me set up a really cool Blue OS system in the house, as well as NAD stuff and some PSP speakers. It's going to be freaking insane. Obviously, the guys from Waterstone are going to come out. We have all kinds of cool stuff. The Eastside Kitchen and Baths is going to teach us all about all the the showplace cabinets that we chose. We're going to follow them around and get the install done. So we have in my painters, the Mazers are going to come out and paint the ceiling like they did in the Woodgate house, and we're going to document and show you this whole thing. As well as, I don't want to do just house stuff for 2 months straight. And so I'm going to, in order to keep the channel from, imploding on just home stuff, I'm going to do all kinds of fun stuff with LZ and driving Civics and doing stuff. Might even do some drift lessons with Maddie in the driver's seat. We'll see how it goes.
Well, let's see. JC says, Happy Friday. Any high torque ETA updates? Thanks and have a great weekend. Yep, 10 of them just showed up today, JC. So 5 came yesterday. They went out the door. Those 10 came in. They're going out today, hopefully. Steven says, what would be your list of priorities when it comes to these options? He already has Swiss tracks.
Yep.
So pressure washer,
yep.
Lights,
yep.
Speakers, vacuum, and upgrading car parts.
I think first would be lights. Second would be pressure washer. What was his other?
Speakers, vacuum, upgrading car parts.
I think I would want speakers, because he probably has some sort of vacuum that, even you get the house vacuum out there. I think vacuum would come last. But maybe that's just my bias of not wanting to clean interiors, because our vacuum is freaking sick. If you guys haven't bought that, you just need to buy it right now. It's insane. You need to do it.
Let's see. Have you noticed, Dylan wants to know, a difference in the GT3 using Sound Shield? I went from a Mercedes to Lexus, and I'm noticing that it's not as insulated and has a lot of rattles when I have music going.
No, I mean, that's just for the big 8-inch woofer, and right now I have it on the stock amplifier. Once we put the Helix in there, I'm going to have quite a bit more amplification, so I need that in order to help keep the doors under control. So in this car stereo world, the door panels in Porsches are always a problem. So putting the sound shield in there made a difference. It certainly can make a difference in a car, but I don't know if you want to go in and add all that bunch of weight. But it can make a difference doing that stuff for sure.
Dakota says, "What's up, guys? About to dial in my 2024 Mustang the OG way. Just got PPF and tint now for the coatings inside and out."
Nice.
Very nice. Detailing Garage wants to know, did you get a new toolbox I saw on Instagram? So I was looking around trying to see what he was.
No. I do have a Rousseau coming. It'll be here on Monday. So that would be a new toolbox to me. But no, I haven't. That's other than the Sonic and the Snap-on stuff. Maybe he was talking about earlier. We did a Sonic Snap-on box giveaway. And they've both been one's been picked up, the other's been shipped out. I will say we're probably best in the game for sure on getting our giveaways fulfilled. Yeah. You see all these places jerking around or not finishing the product and project, and so I like to get that sucker. And once it's out done, it's dead to me. I need it out of here. So it took us a little longer than I liked. Took us 5 days to get the Snap-on box shipped out because we were getting a pallet to put it on.
Matt D says he got randomly recommended the vlog from 6 years ago when you and I traded cars. Matt weighed in at 243 and said, "Time to get it together." It took a little while, but he got it together.
Shoot, yeah.
It's been a long time. Matt, Greg says, "I've been seeing a lot of good music variety on Instagram. What are you listening to these days?"
Like my number one playlist is what I've been talking about, the old Real Man country stuff, the Tyler Childers and Chris Stapleton, and who else is in that list that I've been listening to mostly. If I go to my Blue OS, let's go to my Tidal list. And you go. So Tidal kind of generates, I think, the best playlists of I listen to all my music on Tidal. Where the heck are they? I usually listen to it on
Ariana Grande. I saw it.
Where?
Right there.
No, that's nonsense. Yeah. Let's see. There's the Jizza. I was listening to that. Pussifer. Where's the what happened to? Oh, it's over here under my. No, not that one. Tracks, videos, downloads. Playlists. Nope. Maybe it'll show me on Blue OS since I'm connected to the network.
Racer 454 while you're searching there says, "Go Matt, great to see you driving your babies more."
Yep. Anyway, sorry. Can't find it.
Real Man Country, Chris Stapleton.
Yep.
Tyler Childers. Neil White says, "Hey Matt, I saw a demo of the new Ego battery pressure washer. Curious if you will eventually test it out."
Yeah, I'm waiting to get one. It's not very. I watched Jason's video on Chicago Auto Pros, and I don't know. It's hearing it squeal is not super promising, but it does self-prime, so you're able to just put a hose in a bucket. That's interesting for the apartment dwellers. It's probably certainly gonna be the best portable version. But I need to get my hands on it, start modifying it. Obviously, the hose they have on it's junk. The quick disconnects they have is junk. The foam cannon's junk. So if we can get it outfitted with some decent stuff, it hasn't been launched yet. I know that we're going to take a look at it at SEMA, and Chris Metcalf will get us one as soon as he can.
Obsessed Mobile Detailing wants to know, from a detailing business perspective, do you find it necessary to buy the more expensive brands of iron remover that are $100 plus a gallon versus, say, Adams that's always on sale for $40 a gallon?
Not really. I mean, iron remover is pretty simple. I mean, I haven't found a whole heck of a lot of difference between them. So I use the P&S stuff, which is probably cheaper than that.
Let's see. Detailing Garage says, "Hey, I'm starting to do my garage, and for the lop counter, I want to get real hardwood flooring and do a nice counter."
Yeah.
Do you think that's a good idea?
Yeah, I don't see why not. What's a lop counter?
I don't know. I thought you would know what that is. Maybe he spelled it.
For garage and for the lop. I don't know what that means.
What's the
LOP, lop counter? Is that a
good
loop counter?
An LOL counter?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe
He'll tell us in a minute.
clarify that. But I don't see why not. I'm not a big fan of if you're planning on putting bars and like couches and all, unless you just have a giant garage. Even then, I would want to dedicate a room for the couch and TV and stuff like that. But maybe my decision would change if I, had a much bigger garage. But yeah, I don't see why not. Now, you're not going to want to drive on that area, right? So if you're driving on hardwood, you're going to mess it up. So I'm assuming he's talking about somewhere around his countertop area. Could look kind of cool. It'd be a kind of a cool contrast.
We got a super chat. I'm going right to the super chat. I heard I was doing that all wrong.
Yeah.
First ever super chat from Ryan Kenyon, $19.99. Huge thanks to whomever has been getting the show uploaded to the podcast platforms the past couple weeks. Appreciate having it out on Friday.
Yeah.
Nice. I think that's Alex. Maybe Tim. One of those guys has been consistent with it.
Smart. I like that.
Yeah. All right, let's go back here. Question from Dakota. New satin wheels.
Okay.
2 layers of deluxe or 2 layers of deluxe topped with Duraslick Extreme Holy Grail coating, or vice versa. The PPF is getting Duraslick.
Well, I don't know if that Duraslick would play well with
deluxe.
Yeah, I mean, unless somebody's published it and had some success with it, I wouldn't mix it. We know that Gliss bonds with deluxe, and it's designed and formulated to connect or work together, and so I'd be inclined to say pick one of the two, and I would probably pick deluxe. If you already have it, use it. It's not a bad choice, but the armor wheel coating is even better.
Dragon 43 says, "Hey Matt, did you put the Helix in the GT3 yet? If you're running the stock amp with the focals, how does it sound? Want to do their drop-in into my 458."
Yeah, not yet. I haven't done the swap of the amp yet. If you're doing it with the factory amp, it's not worth the money at all. The mid-range sounds a tiny bit better. The high end frequency sounds very thin and tinny, almost right at the edge of giving me a freaking headache. And so I'm hoping to be able to tune a bunch of that out. Matt Schaefer tells me we're going to be able to make it sound the way I like. I'm not convinced, but I'm going to eat crow if that's the case. But yeah. You don't want to spend that much money. I mean, $6,000 for the speakers. I was really interested to see how it would go, just dropping them in. It's really a nice experience installing them, but it might be worth $300 or $400, not $6,000. Without the amp, we need the amplifier and the DSP and the time aligning and the tune and all that stuff in order to make it work, and make it work to the performance standard of the speakers. But if they don't have a direct, I don't know if they're making one for Ferrari, if there's not a direct drop in, I would do Dyne Audio all day, over just Focal is just not good. Nothing Focal. Even like the Utopia home speakers, big giant, $50,000 pair of speakers. It just doesn't work for me. It's too Frenchy. It's a French speaker. They got like a French sound that's just weak, thin. It sounds like it's, I don't know, it's like too much cymbal, not enough bass for me.
Aiden wants to know, is there a garage giveaway on the horizon?
Yes, we're planning to do, I think, don't hold me to this, but we're planning to do December 1st through January 15th. I'm going to speak it into existence here. What I want to do is digital entry. I'm going to do new apparel. So we're going to be launching. I've actually hired I'm going to hire my friends from Danger Brain who came up with a lot of these original, not this one, but a lot of the original designs. Actually, Bryce did both of these, but like the original dialed-in design, a lot of the original Obsessed Garage designs came from me sitting with the Sorokas at Danger Brain and kind of, I don't have the artistic brain, but I know what I like when I see it, and I know how to make adjustments to things to get it the way I want it to look. I'm telling you, our shirts, we were talking about this the other day, like if you wear a Los Angeles Apparel printed shirt, like, or one of the shirts that we've made, like you can't wear anything else. It makes every other t-shirt feel terrible. It's not cut well, it doesn't feel the same, the quality's not the same. So I think people are really going to want to buy all these shirts that were coming out with it. And I'm testing out. Rogue Fitness has always been my kind of muse on the type of shirts. So that's how I found out about Los Angeles Apparel, and American Apparel was because they don't have the tags on theirs. Like, we just leave them on there because I'm not afraid of someone finding out where we made our shirts. But I called them and asked them and said, hey, I'm not a competitor of yours. I'm in a completely different industry. So can you tell me where you get these from? And they have some new shirts, believe it or not, that like some of the weird colors like pink and orange and stuff like that Los Angeles Apparel doesn't do. American Apparel doesn't do either. Where I think we found the origin of where they're making some of those colors. So I'd love to have like a pink shirt for the OG, Colette collab would be kind of cool, and come up with some really interesting designs.
So digital entry, apparel,
and then some other tchotchkes we'll come up with. And I'm hoping. Oh, and then what we're thinking of doing, because we'll have a lot of new followers, I think, is 50K or a garage. You have to have the garage. I'm not going to require. I'm going to go back on what I said. I'm not going to require people to pick up the phone. We're going to do it normal, like our normal giveaways.
Let's see. Scott Willis wants to know: do you have any microfiber suggestions for household cleaning?
I usually use the car wash towel, so the Terry towels, which we call like the multi-purpose towel, is usually what I use. The multi-purpose towel, which is the gray towel, that's what we use at my house. They're like $1.90 a piece, $2 a piece, so they do well for those kind of tasks.
Mark Ward says, "I just want to see Chris smile." Stay tuned, Mark. Steven wants to know, how is the OG version of CR Spotless going?
Ooh, yeah, we made some real strides this past week. So we got our valve mocked. We have to do some adjustments to it, but my handle that I wanted, which is a model of my toilet paper holder, the Brizo toilet paper holder, is the main handle to turn bypass versus regular. We have our resin stuff coming. We just got our high flow RO filter, which we got to test to see if we can do it without a pump. So we're making some real progress. We're also going to make a stripped down version to keep costs down, where it's just the tank and just a wall mount or a foot mount, so that people can just bolt it to the wall. We have made some strides on TDS and flow for our meter. We've got a lot of stuff coming. It's taking a lot longer than we anticipated. I mean, we all have other things we're working on, but it's going to be transcendent. And then we're going to do the testing that it doesn't seem like anybody else has done. Even the company that makes the tank is like, yeah, we don't know the answers to a lot of these questions that we all have. And so let us know when you find out, kind of thing. And they're going to be doing some testing. We're going to be doing some testing. Where does it make sense to put RO in the line? We think we know, but we want to test it out. We have carbon filtration, we have reverse osmosis filtration, we have then DI filtration, and then we have different types of bed. And so imagine one of the things we're going to really focus on is cost per gallon filtered, or cost per gallon treated, is what that industry goes by. And so would it make sense to have more cost up front in your machine or in your filters, and have much less cost of material like filters and resin and stuff like that? So I'm envisioning on this this RO setup, this RO carbon filtered version, we take the chlorine out before we get to RO, and then we take the TDS down to something like I don't know, 10, 15, and then we polish it with our DI, and then it's possible that our DI could last 10, 20,000 gallons. So you could take $500 worth of resin that lasts you years. So that's what we're looking to figure out.
Got a super chat here, $5 from Emerson Ward, after a $2 super chat in which he retracted his message. So here's what he says: still hoping you get the Emira so I can learn from your mods. Any update on that thing?
Yeah, nothing. No, nothing from the dealer. I think I'm like 20 something in line.
P.S. Loving the touring and GTS videos. Thanks.
Yeah,
Emerson.
I got to make a video. I'll make one this weekend of the Dundon exhaust. It's pretty good.
Dragon wants to know any update on the press-all squeeze bottles. I love that concept with the 3 or 4 soaps that I have on hand.
Yep, it's donezo. I got it. It's perfect. We need to come up with some really good-looking tips in the future. We have ones that work. They're white and hideous. Yeah, I don't know when we'll bring them in, but soon, like in the next 3 months or so.
Blake Smith says, hey, Matt, I know you mentioned it before in passing, but can you go over the supplement plan that you're taking?
Yeah, so I have 2 different times. So I take it in the morning at night, right? And so in the morning, let's see if I can figure it all out. I have it here in my notes. I can tell you exactly what it is. It's freaking fantastic. I thought I would give up on this. I thought it wouldn't do squat, but I mean, it's hard to pinpoint exactly what's working because I'm eating well. I'm doing everything that I said after 220 pounds, after carnivore with fruit added down to 210. I'm like only a couple pounds away. So I'm sitting like right now probably 225. That 223 was after workout. It's not super hot, so minimal fluid intake. Then cold plunge, then wash my car, and then pee 47 times in between there probably, then showered, and then weighed, right? And so I went to bed at 225.4. That's usually my real weight, is your weight at a night before you go to bed. And then I woke up at like 224 point something, and then throughout the working out and stuff like that, with a couple hours, I'm 223.2. So I'm probably about 225. I'm going to cycle this weekend. I'll probably lose another pound this weekend. So I might be under the 220s here shortly. So there's a video on, if you search, let me just pull this up for you here. So search Andrew Huberman, and the video is called Developing a Rational Approach to Supplementation for Health and Performance. It's 2 hours long. I watched it, time-stamped it, and then figured out the exact regimen. And I can send you I'll send you my document that I'm reading from here. So I didn't actually need to do this. I created a 13-week plan. I don't even think I've been on it for 13 weeks. Probably something like maybe 10 weeks now. But I was able to increase my plan much, much quicker. So I first started out with, sleep was really important. And so I started out making sure I was sleeping a lot. And because I was working out really hard and a lot, at least 7 days a week, sometimes twice a day, in the beginning, I was sleeping like 10, 11 hours a night, right? So I was sleeping a lot. I would go to bed at 9 or 10, wake up at 7 or 8, something like that, 6 or 7. And then working out again, and so what I found now is that like today I slept 7 hours. I was ready to go. I'm like I can't sleep anymore, and so because now I'm much, much fitter. I'm probably 50% fitter than I was before. So sleep was a major part of it. And then what I decided to do, so week 1 was to do apigenin. Apigenin is an anxiety-lowering compound and aids in falling asleep. So this is the sleep side of it. So this is what I take at night. And then I take magnesium threonate. That's 3 pills that, by the way, these are all from Momentous, who I buy it from. If you use the Huberman code, it's actually pretty inexpensive. It's maybe like $100 a month. So if you Google, and I'll send you the links to all this, just email me and I'll send it to whoever wants it. And then, so magnesium threonate leads to a mild form of drowsiness and aids in falling asleep, deeper sleep, and faster transition times. But I didn't find that any of these sleep supplements have added any kind of grogginess or anything weird at all. Feels great. So I said I'd do that week 2, and then I said I'd try both for week 3. I didn't do any of that. I took one for like 3 or 4 days. I'm like, I feel fine, and then I added the other one. I think within 3 weeks I was on a full regimen. What you don't want to do is, if you just start taking all this stuff and something doesn't feeling right, you don't want to. You wouldn't know what's the problem. It is, yeah. And so really you should take a nice 12 or 13 week protocol to add these in. And then, so what I said is week 1 take apigenin, week 2 take magnesium threonate, week 3 try both. So it was take one, stop taking it, take the other, then try both. I didn't do any of that. I just tried both, and they worked great. Then I added in inositol. This shortens the amount of time to fall back asleep and helps with mood. Then theanine. And theanine is the one that makes you have some really weird, vivid dreams. You may want to avoid that if you wake up from that kind of stuff. It helps you fall asleep. I didn't find it via theanine to be a problem at all. So, and I'm just following whatever the normal recommended intake is. And then I said, week 6 was try both, and then I added L-carnitine. And I've learned a lot about this over the years, but I'm one of the roughly 40% that is deficient in methylfolate, the ability to create folic acid production, which has something to do with serotonin levels and so something to do with the hypothalamus and all that stuff, which could be anxiety inducing. And so because I don't metabolize the folic acid, it also means I don't metabolize a lot of different medications very well. So I did some genetic testing to figure that out. And so every night with that, I take a methylfolate, which is a folic acid supplement that I have sent to me. Then in the morning, I'm taking athletic greens, which I don't know. I think it's probably nonsense. And then I'm taking, I like Progenics protein. So Progenics More Muscle or Progenics Recovery if you can get it. Recovery is kind of hard to get. So More Muscle. And I did start, when I started out, I was taking creatine, but my body was hanging on to too much weight. So I eventually came off the creatine stuff. So I'm not on creatine right now. I'll probably go back on it if I get down to, low 200s. So I take Progenics with More Muscle, AG1, so I mix those two up, and I put glutamine in, a scoop of glutamine from Momentous in my shake.
So you do the greens with the shake?
No.
Oh,
So
okay.
greens, and then the protein shake is separate, but I drink them both, and I use those to swallow all the pills, right? And so then I'm taking vitamin D I buy vitamin D from like Garden of Life. And Garden of Life men's multivitamin, and I'm not taking. There's a 40 plus. I'm taking the real man, the regular stuff. Let's see, and then I take omega-3, Fedosia agrestis, and so Fedosia I'm off now. It's an 8-week on, 2-week off regimen. So you take it for 8 weeks. So this is for like hormone testosterone production. I didn't find any negative side effects to that. And Tangan Ali, which is another hormone stimulation type, testosterone stimulating type product, where there's no. These are all from Momentous. These are all natural. They come from plants and stuff. Plant somewhere in Africa or something like that. And so I think next week I'll go back on Fedosia agrestis. He explains why in that 2-hour video why you should or shouldn't cycle on. And then alpha GPC is that one I take, which I don't know. It's supposed to help with brain function, and zinc. And then there was another one that I do not take, which is called tyrosine, which is something kind of akin to caffeine that I'm not interested in. So I'm not taking that. And so I was cycling. I tried to cycle on and off, and I just kept adding, and it wasn't affecting me. So I take that every day. And then my cold plunge regimen is, which I just started. So I'm on week 2 of my cold plunging, week 2.5. So I started at 50. 48, so I'm at 46 degrees. I'm going to work my way down to as low as it'll go, which will end up being like 39 or 40 degrees. That's 3 minutes a day. So, and I'm doing it after workout. I just feel like that works best for me. And then the last thing I'd like to do is sauna. So that's my story. And then I'm eating primarily steak, some sausage, some hamburger, ground beef. Some chicken, like last night I had chicken. Sam, the cooking guy, had a what is it, Marry Me chicken or something like that. I had Marlene make me, and that's what I've been doing. And so I'm probably, I don't know how much calorie content I'm eating per day. That breakfast time, depending on how I'm feeling after the workout. So I'll have that morning stuff after the workout. So the shake, the athletic greens, and those supplements. And then I will sometimes have a couple of hard-boiled eggs with that. Sometimes maybe some, like this morning I had some raspberries and strawberries with that. Maybe like a half a cup of that. And that's what I've been doing.
So there you go, Blake. And yeah, email Matt at Obsessed Garage if you want him to share that info with you. CK Mac says, I'd love to hear Maddie's opinion on Ammo/the Smoking Tire, who are constantly worrying about chasing the algorithm of YouTube and chasing returns on videos that cost them a lot of time and money to make.
Yeah, I mean, I get that. And you're probably smart to care about that. I just don't. I want to live my life and document it. Now, I need you guys to watch it and buy the stuff. Otherwise, I won't be able to do the stuff I want to do. And I just don't look at analytics at all. It's kind of neat to see, our subscriber base growing substantially. Subscribers don't really do much. The subscriber growth has increased our average monthly view rate, but those two guys have considerably more, obviously more subscribers, and they have considerably more views. And so like Larry will have videos with 20 million views or 10 million views, and he's probably making $30,000-$40,000 a month in Google ad revenue on his channel, where mine makes $7,000. We're flirting with 8,000 this month. And that's a lot of money, don't get me wrong, but in the grand scheme of a 20-something million dollar organization, that's peanuts. That's like, doesn't even pay for the wheels that I buy in a year in some cases. So it's if I didn't have all the overhead I had and didn't have all the sales and stuff I had, I think it would matter more. Clearly, Matt's doesn't have a product that he's selling, and so he's getting sponsorship, and then he's generating ad revenue, so it's an important income. Now he has the car storage business and stuff too, and I'm sure he has some other streams of income. Larry has his product line, but they're probably smart to think about the algorithm. I just don't. I don't do it. I'm not interested in it, and I think that I'm going to continue down that path, and I'm not looking to recover money that I spent on a video from the video. I'm looking to engage and be in relationship with people that hopefully will support the business that I'm creating, support the brand that I'm creating, and then the algorithm doesn't really matter. Now, we're going to toy with this algorithm a bit here when we go down to Adam LZ's, and I ask him to ask his audience to subscribe, and we may catch some momentum, and maybe you'll see us run to 1 million people or something like that. I think it does open up a lot of doors if you have that 1 million subscriber number. I think what my plan is, LZ Project, we're going to go from our average 25,000 views a video to probably 125,000 views a video. We're going to also continue to advertise a bit on other channels to try to introduce other, like when we're messing around in the kitchen, we're going to try to advertise on like Architectural Digest channel and some other home related stuff. When I'm driving the GTR or whatever, or we're dry ice cleaning, we'll try to advertise to people that are interested in GTRs. And so we're going to do a little bit. I'm going to spend a little money on advertising to try to continue to create a little bit more algorithmic momentum. And I'm actually going to probably ask for you to subscribe for a couple of months while I'm there. And then if Adam's sending me, saying, hey, part of what I promised Matt was that we would grow a subscriber base. So, subscribe, and we could see some real serious momentum, change of the channel and see it really take off. And then if that happens, so then if I have a much bigger number, then I can probably leverage that to go on some like financial podcasts and go in comedians podcasts and tell my story. I could maybe reach out to someone like Andrew Huberman and tell him how much hopefully my life has changed, and talk about obsession. And so I can start to maybe publicize my, the brand that we built a little bit, and maybe go out and collaborate with some others. Maybe this is a little overly self-confident, but I think I'm pretty good on camera. I think I'm pretty good on a podcast. So I've been doing it a long time, and I just have a natural, I guess, ability to put together thoughts as I'm thinking about a subject maybe I haven't thought of before. So I think that what they're doing is not an invalid complaint, an invalid thing, and then the smoking tire should have a lot more views because he's like the guy, and yet some other channels for whatever reason hit the algorithm and he doesn't. And then Larry hit the algorithm and was doing a lot of the barn find stuff, and then you kind of get stuck doing that. I would prefer not to have to do something like that. So this project with Adam, I would do anyway, right? This going on, if I could get on like Andrew Huberman's podcast or Lex Friedman, I would want to do that anyway. And so I'm hoping to stay inside of that authentic place and try to stay in that path.
Speaking of your supplement regimen, Douglas Perry says, I'm pretty sure you have the most expensive pee in this group.
Yeah, you do pass a lot of that. Some of it's placebo. Some of it's a bunch of nonsense. I don't disagree. But it's working for me at the moment.
Working.
Yeah.
Spencer says, can we hear about the Grit Guard upgrade that was released?
Yeah, so Tommy finally talked me into it. And when I originally did the detail guards, which is it's a much more modern take on this tech where the dirt stays under it. But they didn't fit the 6-gallon buckets originally, and now they do. And so the guys from Detail Guards reached back out and said, hey, I want to let you know they now fit a 6-gallon bucket better. So I said, well, yeah, it is a superior product, so let's do it.
Hey, Matt. This is coming from Tim. Thanks for sharing your new software platform, Deposco. Sounds like an interesting software platform. I hope it works out well for you guys.
Thanks. We're just sharing the story, sharing the path, the process. I don't know if it's the right software. It seems pretty good. The people were great. We sort of collaborated with them, got them to come down here and come on video, on camera with us. And I think that if I were, if you have a business similar to mine, then you might want to reach out and see if they have any value to you. But so far, it's been pretty great.
Toto is just curious. Can the OG drying aid be used as a clay and seal similar to other products? I have a gallon of it and like to get more use out of it. Keep up the great work, everyone.
I'm sure you could. I don't think it's good enough for that. I think that you may end up with... I don't want to add some sort of sealing product while I'm claying because you should be polishing afterwards anyway. I'm sure you could. It is pretty slick, but that's not what it's intended to do, so I'm not sure if it would be it certainly isn't going to hurt.
CJ wants to know, hey Matt, are you on the carnivore diet to help limit calories or some other benefit?
To some extent, yeah, because what happens is when you're fat and protein based, you're not hungry as much. It takes a while to get off the crack, off the the sugar. It takes a while to get off of that. Once you do, it limits cravings, which then would mean that I end up eating generally less calories. The benefits of like my skin is clearer. My joints don't hurt as much. Now I'm working out really hard, so I do still kind of get beat up at times. So that I feel like there's less inflammation. You're not crapping all the time. You don't have to go sit on the toilet. I hate to get graphic here, but you're clean. It's clean. You're clean as a whistle. I don't have any gurgle. There's no digestive things to deal with. It's great once you get through the first week or two of Carnivore. I did the other day. I made some eggs and I put some whatever the hot sauce that everybody gets. What is that?
Louisiana or Cholula? Sriracha.
Cholula, yeah. So I put the Cholula, hot sauce, and I thought I was gonna die, because it's taken my iron stomach and made it a little bit softer. If I introduce some junk food, like if I ate pizza or something like that. And my body's saying, dude, this is junk. What is going on? But when you train yourself to eat that junk all the time, so the main purpose is that I think my body, I think everybody's genetic. You're genetically predisposed to to be eating certain things. Like for example, I don't like broccoli. You don't like broccoli. It tastes like battery acid. It's terrible. It makes me gag. There's got to be a reason for that. And yet we're told, force it down. Michelle doesn't like olives. They gross her out. It's terrible for her. I love olives. I think there's something to that. Like now, fake stuff like, high fructose corn syrup, you can drink that down. Everybody likes that, Everybody likes chocolate sauce in their milk, Who doesn't like that? I mean, there's a few people that don't like something like that, but who doesn't like cake? And that's not real. That's refined garbage, and so that's a drug. But when we're talking about whole foods, I mean, kale tastes like barf to me. So I think there's something. To that. This nonsense of you got to eat, stuff that you don't like, doesn't seem to make sense to me. So I'm not doing it, and I feel freaking fantastic. And the one thing that I needed to do that I still haven't done, I need to send in my blood work. See where I'm at. I wish I would have gotten it done. I did it. I pricked every finger I got 4 times, and it didn't work. It wasn't right. It was splattered all over the place. I said, look, we can't use this atrocity that you sent us, and I haven't done it. I wish I would have, so I would have known where I was and where I'm at. But I feel better than I probably ever have, other than maybe in my early 20s, mid 20s.
Let's see. Our buddy Andrew Tinney has a good question here. He says, do any kitchen utensil companies make something similar to Sonic's foam inlay system? Would be nice to have kitchen utensils that are organized in some kind of cutout system specific to the utensils.
No, not for that, but that's a darn good idea. I just want to steal that. And right now, Hayfalas are our best option, where you do drawer inserts.
I like that, Andrew. Improved Garage wants to know, any updates on the Gerber knives? 50 of them came in on Wednesday.
And they all went out.
All 50 went out, so we have about 100 more that we're waiting on.
Something to clarify here on Gerber knives. So I wanted Chris Reeve. Bryce called Chris Reeve. They said, well, you can buy them at list 7 years from now. If you put the order in and you pay up front, we'll get them to you in 4 to 7 years. And Bryce started ordering some different knives and Benchmade and stuff like that, and he got several knives, and we needed some different tchotchkes for various giveaways for the GT3Rs giveaway, and so we got the Gerber knife. And so people, and I this is partly my doing, if you go to obsessgarage.com, there's an expectation that that's a best-in-class product, best the best. And if it's not best of the best, it's a progressive step to get to best of the best. And so people kind of hold it against me if it's not. And I'm not touting that the Gerber is OG spec. Now, I really like it. Is it? Now I have 2 Chris Reeves that are $500, $600 a piece. Those are, if I'm choosing a knife, that's what I'm picking. But 1, we couldn't get it, and 2, there's progression in life. The Benchmades, I have 3 or 4 Benchmades. I hate all of them. So you guys that are stuck on Benchmade, you're on frickin' crack. You want to check yourself out and make sure that you're not just hung up on it because you bought it. So ask yourself honestly, is this the best knife? Do I really, really like this knife? And maybe you do, and that's fine. But all the Benchmades I have they're my least favorite knives. And I've had 3 or 4 or 5 of them. They're okay. They always seem to dull quicker. They seem to be dullest out of the box. Maybe I just bought the wrong ones, but I feel like, they're $100 knives. The Chris Reeves are $500, $600, $700, $800 knives. The Gerber, I like better than my Benchmade. So when Bryce brought it to me, I said, this thing, I kind of freaking like this thing. How much is it? Like $200 or something like that?
I think so, yeah. Let's see.
And it's made in the U.S., and they would make it with an OG hex on it, and we needed some tchotchke stuff. So it's not OG spec knife here. It's a cool little knife that I think that I really like.
Yeah, $245.
Yeah, $245. It's not freaking crazy expensive. It's nice, really nice. So from all you knife dorks, I mean, I'm not touting that this is the best knife in the world. I'm pretty sure. Hope it doesn't say that in the description, but I really like it. End of story.
Miguel maybe wants to know, hey guys, are there any plans for a new and improved drying aid anytime soon?
I don't think so. I mean, the new and improved version they sent me was not improved, and so it's not going to be new for me. So I don't see what we could make better. Works freaking fantastic.
Jeff W. says, I just got everything to do my first paint correction and ceramic coat OG style this weekend on my F-150 Lightning.
Nice.
Wish me luck. Thanks for your videos. For us first-timers, I've watched them many times.
Friday. This is you get your decon done on Friday night, get it dried, get the thing in the garage, and then Saturday morning, get up nice and early, start polishing, and then work through polishing so that way you can get rolling. Hopefully Saturday night you can start get the first coat of coating on. That way you can sit Sunday night, and then Saturday night, and then Sunday you can throw the last coat on and deal with the glass and interior and stuff like that. So good luck.
Let's see.
How do I turn this stupid ringing off of my phone or my new watch?
Oh.
Get out of here. No.
This is
I got to go into settings and turn that crap off.
highly unprofessional.
I hate that.
Wags, our buddy Corey, says, Maddie, I'm going to need a quick disconnect for this Boss foam cannon. I'm spoiled over here. We're working on it.
What do you mean? Oh, for the top.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's going to be like $800, I bet. It's going to be awesome, though. Yeah, I need them, too. I need 9 of them. One for each.
Yeah, we sent it off, and they're working on it. Mikey wants to know, any updates on the Merca trigger lock?
Nothing. So I only got to talk to the local sales guy. I want to talk to the powers to be. They move at a pace of slugs. So I wouldn't get too excited. Just buy the thing and use it, and then we'll figure it out later. So I don't know. I want to meet with the darn frickin' people that make decisions. Let's go.
Eddie says, side button click mute notification. So maybe side button does it.
And that's open workout. Oh, here we go. Yeah. There we go. Good call.
Thanks,
I've never been a watch person. What does this ear thing mean?
Yeah, somebody was
Hearing
congratulating
devices.
you here on a Kermit.
Yep.
Is that the watch? That's the watch, right? Uh-oh.
What the?
Now we've made it worse.
All right, I'm gonna have to actually read. I just got this thing. I haven't done anything
You've
with
become the old man that doesn't know what's going on.
Let's make it bigger. Yeah.
What?
What is that thing?
All right, let's see.
Oh,
Maurizio.
Here you go. Silent mode on. All right,
That's
got you.
good.
Got you, people.
Maurizio says, hey, would it interest you down the way to do an obsessed garage visit around the world and show different garage solutions of like-minded obsessed people?
That's not a bad idea. That would be kind of a cool idea. If only I didn't. I freaking hate traveling, but I like that idea. I might steal that. I'll honor the source. Keep his name down.
Maurizio. All right, we'll do a screenshot here. Mike says, Matt, I currently have Husky cabinets. Are they worth moving into a new garage or punt them in the trash?
I mean, all those lower end cabinets, they serve a purpose, and you put stuff in them. If you have the money and you're at that stage in life and you're moving to a new house, you might want to sell them off or take them with you until you get your new stuff that comes in and give them away. But yeah. I mean, you're going to do better with most other cabinets. Not New Age. That doesn't count. New Age Pro is the opposite of Pro. Should be called New Age Amateur. But all those cabinets serve a purpose. I get it. And I get it. Cabinets for most people, like on the and the really nice stuff, is never going to happen for most people. Like it's like a 1%er thing that's going to happen to you, or if you're not a 1%er, it's you're going to make a significant investment sacrifice to make it happen. You got a big bonus or something like that. So I get cabinets are not down. Great cabinets are not in the cards for everybody.
With regard to your watch, Jeff wants to know, is that an Apple Watch Ultra?
Yeah.
If so, what are your thoughts on it?
I bought it because everybody's checking their heart rate when we're freaking cycling, and so I'm like, I got it. And now I'm training myself to wear a watch all the time, and so then I'm gonna hopefully start getting all kinds of cool Rolexes to wear, so I can pull off my Rolex real man look. The problem is I bought these freaking jeans, and now they don't fit. And so I bought 2 pairs of jeans, and then I saw them in videos. It looks like I'm wearing some fat dad's jeans that are 2 sizes too big. And so I ordered a bunch more, and now I'm afraid that by the time they get here, they're not going to fit. So I ordered a bunch of 38s, and then I got 36 waist, and so I'm afraid that those aren't going to fit. So I probably should order some 34s, but then I'll have some fattening up pants.
There you go. BH wants to know, for the chemical-resistant press-all spray heads, would they consider making the tube material out of something more flexible?
Yeah, actually, funny. We talked to them about that, making it out of the same silicone that's in the Griot's foam cannons, which silicone, most of that would stand up to anything, and then we'd be able to 360 spray them. So that's on the docket for some changes we'd like to see, as well as, they changed some of the plastic components in the chemical-resistant head to help with high alkalinity. So we're in 5 months in testing in that. It seems to be holding up. And then, of course, stainless tips, squeeze bottles, gallons, spout. I talked to him about making me a spout for the gallons. We wanted to also make the gallons stackable, so that way when we're shipping bottled product, you could stack them. So all kinds of stuff coming, hopefully.
ST says, I bought a new house and moved my on-wall Crinza solution to the new house. It's on a well for water.
Yep.
Would you add the line for the pressure washer straight from the well or through the water softener?
I would run it through the softener. You might as well, because then you're going to end up with iron and all kinds of funky stuff coming from your well, calcium and things that your softener is going to clean up. So I like mine set up after my softener, so it's not going to hurt it. So yeah, I definitely do it in line, unless it really kills your flow. But most softeners can flow 20 gallons a minute, so it should be fine.
Self-Healing Jose says, with the Crinza 1322 portable solution, can we replace the inlet hose with a garden hose instead? I'm planning on buying one very soon.
Yep. Yeah, the only thing will cause surging on the pressure washer if you put quick disconnects. Like, let's say you put two hoses together and you tried to quick disconnect that. You're going to get too much reduction in flow. But you can put quick disconnects on the ends of the hoses, just not in line. I did find that over the years it would cause surging, and it slows the flow of the water down too much. But yeah, you can hook up a 200-foot hose to it, and it'd be fine. Jonathan
T wants to know, hey Matt, did you ever end up trying the Pure EST products that you had?
No, Jeff did. We didn't find anything that was remarkable. So, yeah, I didn't, but Jeff and Tommy and Bryce did, and they didn't. They usually come back to me if they find something great.
Luca wants to know, have your Real Man boots showed up yet?
They were like a 10-week build, so not yet.
All right, Finney says, I placed an order this morning, got notified this afternoon it was being shipped.
Nice.
Great job, guys. Hey, let's see, you got a hat and a couple shirts. It goes out quickly. Let's see, from 555 4th Street. Matt, have you had a chance to talk to Chicago Auto Pros about the Ego pressure washer? If so, what do they have to say about it?
No, I didn't talk to Jason about it yet. But I did talk to Chris Metcalf about it, who's the rep you saw in Jason's videos. But neither one of those guys is the authority. They would ask me, so I need it so that I can figure out if it's any good.
Jose wants to know, is there a PP plug solution for the garden hose QDs? Mine stays on the spigot outside and bugs get in it from time to time.
That's a good project. We should add that, but no, we don't have it. But I would like to have one. That'd be cool.
Let's see. Joe wants to know, does Matt clean his tire shine brush, or does he just leave it as is?
I just I usually when I'm putting OG tire dressing on, I try to wipe it on the towel, try to get excess product. I find that it applies better if I get like a fresh wipe on the towel in between each tire. But other than that, no, I don't. I just use it for a while till I'm still on the first one, so theoretically use it for a while and just throw it away and get another one.
Let's see. Perry Ocean Auto Design says, hey Matt, it's Perry here. Have a question. How can I stay up to date on the updates for issues on my dry ice 030 machine? Seems like I'm not seeing updates on issues ICS is having and the fixes. Not a Patreon member.
Yeah, I don't know. Bother Scott. Shoot Scott an email.
There you go.
Yeah, I think that would be the way. Or make sure you're following Dryce Nation on Instagram because he'll share stuff there. But yeah, I mean, maybe that's a good idea. Maybe we should have Scott send out a regular email update or something to the list. I have to think about that.
All right, let's see here. Mikey says, I'm looking forward to SEMA this year. Is there anything specific that you are after this year?
Yeah, tools, air compressors. So I'm looking forward to digging deeper into tools, because now I'm ready. I'm ready to start, digging into those more, and Weha and Kinetics. And I did a little bit last year, but now I'm fully in it. Air compressors, and figuring out where I'm headed with that, and making a decision on whether we're going to do that new version of the Werther compressor that we tested out, and then just running around. And then I think my next step is to go to Automechanica, which I think is next year. They only do it every 2 years. So Automechanica in Germany is from what I understand, 3 times the size of SEMA, and more concentrated toward what I love. So I think that's got to get added to the list.
Yeah, most of your stuff is at Apex, or is it SEMA as well?
No, mainly SEMA.
Okay.
Yeah. Apex is just looking for bonus. That's where I found tool grid and Cox hose reels and Jenny compressors. But generally speaking, it's a bunch of industry like lubricants and stuff like that.
Back to the Focal system for the 458 here. Was looking at JL. Yes, they do have a specific 458 system. Was looking at JL and Audison amps. The stock system is very thin sounding, so it sounds like I need an amp.
I've always thought Audison was going to be great, but everybody that I know, and I know quite a few super legit audio guys, they never sell those. They never like those. They're always doing Moscone or something else. And so I think the Audison stuff just doesn't hold up sonically. I would, I'd be inclined to look at, Moscone stuff, Helix, and out of those choices, I'd probably rather have JL, or consider doing Dynaudio stuff. If you're going to go full, custom, then you might as well do what you want. But I would love to have in that car. I'd love to have Dynaudio, Isotech, or maybe Isotar if you can fit the tweeters. And I think that I would lean toward JL in that instance, because I know the JL amps are pretty fantastic. But Moscone would be something I would highly consider.
All right, Streetless wants to know, Matt, can you get rid of that horrible red sticker and screw lid to the foam cannon?
Yeah, maybe someday.
Nice.
We're going to talk them into it. Make me an OG version, black, or all blacked out version or something.
CJ says, can you design a white shirt that isn't see-through, that fits well? Nothing better than a clean white T-shirt.
Yeah, I was talking about that yesterday too, because now I'm not such a fatso. I'm going to start wearing different colors. The white Los Angeles apparel was so thin. It feels amazing, but you can't really wear it out. It's see straight through it. So I'm working on that. I've got a couple of samples coming that I'd like to see if we can do something. Because one of our most popular shirts was the white OG shirt, but then you could see through it, everybody. No good.
Alex says, hey, Matt, at my job, we have a lot of trees. So every weekend I wash the car just for it to get covered in pollen all week long. What do you suggest for daily care?
Yeah, not much you can do about that other than try to park somewhere where there aren't trees dumping crap on you. Because, remember, pollen, if you look at pollen under a microscope, it looks like a darn, sticky ball, like a Velcro ball. It's got big jagged edges on it, so it scratch the crap out of stuff. So the only thing you could consider doing is a full waterless or rinseless wash down with like N914 or ONR or something like that.
Let's see. Hey, guys, any idea if you'll be offering the tool-only option for the Mirka 3-inch? I saw Beaver Tools online selling it, which considerably brought the price down.
I don't know that we do tool only, but we will be doing the 2.5 amp hour version. We're working on trying to get that in. But the tool only, I'm not sure, if you don't have any batteries, and most people don't have the Mirka batteries. So maybe someday, but I don't think they really even have it. So Beaver Tools is just one of those like commodity type places, just put every product up there, but whether they have it or not is a question.
Another quick question about the foam cannon from Chad. Can I order a Griot's foam cannon with a Mosmatic plug, but a 1.5 orifice installed from y'all as well?
We don't have it prefab for 1.5, but you could email support@obsessedgarage.com and tell them Matt said we would do it for you.
Steven, back to the OGCR Spotless. Will your version be drastically different compared to how the CR is plumbed? Will it be a direct replacement of the CR or a complete different setup as well?
It will be different because it will have onboard bypass, right? So water goes in, water goes out, and you'll have a 3-way valve on there that will allow you to completely bypass it, where the CR doesn't have that. The CR, you have to put external valves on. You have to do a separate piping line or a separate 3-way valve. So yeah, it's going to be completely different. It'll be more like the DI Rinse Pro or the RV Transformers, like the Clack makes most of the bypass valves, and ours is going to have a custom valve on it. It's going to be really slick, and that valve is a 3-way valve on it, and so you'll be able to turn. Basically, it's like an on-off switch almost, where you can turn DI water on or off by the turn of my really trick-looking stainless steel aluminum valve, or a stainless steel handle that we've made.
Maurizio says, a bit off topic, but are you currently happy with your kids' education? Considering your journey, I'm curious if you have any expectations for their future and how you want to guide them along the way.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's changed a lot. I think that a lot of the things that mattered to us in our generation doesn't really matter all that much anymore. We're still kind of feeding them that. The transition to, like, it's weird because we're still holding on to a lot of the traditional methods of, you take a test and you have to do math, but yet they're doing it on a Chromebook and they don't have to show their work. Remember how so much of a stickler? I mean, you got to show the work. How did you get to this? And there was always that really smart kid who didn't know how to show work but knew the answer to things, those kids. Now everybody's expected to be that kid, and so they're not really learning at the rate. But I don't know that it matters as much anymore because you're going to be able to AI search the answer to things. And so I think the key is, can your kid learn to problem solve? And that means that the way that they're being taught now, I think, in general, is going to lead them to less of an academic focused path than maybe our generation did. Because a lot of that academic stuff that we focused on is now available at your fingertips that we didn't have access to, that we were memorizing and stuff like that. So I don't know how it's going to go. I don't stress. Michelle stresses about it quite a bit. I don't know about you. I don't. I feel like if I think the main purpose to stay ahead of the game and get good, solid scores and solid grades is so that way you have your choice. You have options, right? You have your option. If you want to go to a great school, you can. And so I think that is the main importance. And I think that the way that they're teaching, my kids is not preparing them very well for that. But that's all schools now, where everything's made a transition to, like, how are you doing math on a Chromebook? That's ridiculous. And you're multiple choicing. It takes twice as long as it would if you just put it on paper. It's because the teacher doesn't want to grade the stuff. And they're being taught that that's okay. And that's kind of nonsense.
Nicholas, by the way, chimes in. He says he can confirm that your jeans are too big.
Yeah, right. Yeah, they're like hanging off. I feel like they're pulled up to my armpits, and I look at them like, oh my gosh, too much.
Classic Carson wants to know, how tall is Ryan right now?
I think he's like 5'5", something like that. He's wearing size 10, so he's going. It's starting to take. He grew an inch in a month. That's looking good for him. He's a good looking dude, that little guy. He's going to have a way better life than I had with the ladies. I can already tell, if he can figure out how to talk to them. Yeah, he's going to be a little stud, that little bro. He's walking around with all his buddies that are like up to his chest. and then some of his buddies have already hit puberty at 12, 13 years old. He's probably going to be screwed on that one, not till he's 16 or 17 like his dad, but hopefully it gets his mom's side and he can grow up faster, so that way you can be better at sports and then have a shot.
Nicholas says, hey Matt, I got a GT4 RS allocation.
Nice.
I want to build without Wysock pack.
I thought he said he was going to give it to me. Okay.
No, I don't see it. He wants to build it without the Wysock pack for the extra painted bits. I'm getting a lot of negative feedback on that choice. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think that people get really hung up on resale value, which is a bunch of frickin' nonsense. Like, you got to get the axle lift. And then there will be idiots who think they need an axle lift because everybody told them they need an axle lift. If you're in like New York City and you're dealing with big curbs and stuff like that, you need an axle lift. Everywhere else, you can kind of like work around it, unless you have a gnarly driveway or something, you don't want to deal with it, fixing it, or getting it so that the angle isn't such a gnarly approach. But generally speaking, you just drive like you know how to drive, like if you know what you're doing, and you just approach angles better, and then you don't have this big contraption that's doomed to fail at some point. So I'd say you order what you frickin' want. The Vysock is really intriguing to me. I probably wouldn't buy a car unless it had Vysock, but there's always going to be an audience for that. Your car is going to cost less, which means that you're probably going to see less appreciation if there is in the future, or you may have a little bit more depreciation if things turn on GT cars. But I would say get what you want. I would unless you're going to be tracking the car heavily, the biggest thing for me, I would never buy a car with steel brakes. Steel Porsche brakes are a goddamn nightmare. It's such a nightmare dealing with them. And the carbon ceramics are the best darn deal on the planet. They're $50,000 brakes they're giving you for $8,000. It's awesome.
The analog gauge wants to know, hey Matt, do you apply any treatment to wheel wells like apparel or anything along those lines?
I have, but it doesn't do much. So I've coated them, put dressing on them, just mainly to look nice for 5 seconds, but generally not.
E90 M3 Vis says, are there any collaborations with TJ Hunt in the future?
Oh, I'm sure there will be, but I don't have anything planned.
Kevin says, I've always dreamed of starting my own company, but I naturally cannot turn my brain off work and worry that as a business owner, I would just live with a constant anxiety. What is your experience?
Yeah, I mean, that comes with it. It's a lonely territory, that would be unique to you if you head down that path. I think you'll know if you're cut out for it. I mean, I guess you can't know fully unless you try. But it doesn't ever turn off. That's a great thing, but also can be a curse if you're not careful. But you then are afforded the abilities to go where you want to go and do what you want to do and do it when you want to do it. But the only problem is if you're doing what you like, then you're going to always want to do it. And to me, that hasn't been a problem. Maybe a little bit at times, but generally not.
King57811 says, hey Matt, try HCl creatine instead of monohydrate. You will bloat less.
Yeah, I've done that before, but I find it's the same. Creatine works really well for me. I don't really bloat much. I was just holding on to weight. I'm trying to lose weight, and so I could see it on the scale. But yeah, I've done that too in the past. What is that company that we all used to buy? It was the purple pills. Remember, HCl creatine. It was.
No, I was never a creatine guy. Purple pills, though. That doesn't. Detailing OR says, my PF22 foam cannon is leaking from the black nozzle at the very tip. I've checked and replaced all components and still not wanting to work like it should. Thoughts?
Interesting.
Any thoughts?
There's really not much to it. I mean, there's always a little dribble from them. It's funny. Lots of people, there it is. EFX, yeah.
EFX.
Crealkaline. Yeah, that's what it was called. Crealkaline creatine. It's I believe HCl type. It's funny. I saw some posts in the Facebook group about, I can't believe, Matt, this is before they knew we were launching the Griots. I can't believe Matt's still using the PF22. It's junk. It's not freaking junk at all. It works great. Works fine. It's bulletproof. In fact, I just sold my original PF22. Like the very first one I ever got, the Philly Detailers Domain gave me probably in 2013. And I didn't even know I still had it. I had the old screw. I tried to change the screw to a stainless one, but it was a different size screw on the head of the nozzle, or the head of the adjuster. And part of the reason why I didn't make the change, well, one, because I wanted the Griots and I couldn't do Griots. and I really wasn't ready to do the griots because I really wasn't displeased with the PF22. And I was working with my friends, Rob and Mike, at getting something made, something different. And then they kept promising some different options, and I was supposed to go to Italy, and then with COVID I didn't go, and then so I was kind of hanging on to PF22 a little longer than I probably should, just because I thought we were going to make it better, and it would have been an easier transition for me. But there's nothing wrong with the PF22 at all. In fact, I probably wouldn't replace it unless you just have a lot of money and you like new things. But the griots I think is the best on the market, and I'm not buying anything from MJJJCCD or whatever the heck they are. I'm not doing any of that crap because they're nonsense. They're just stealing ideas from other companies. This is the first original idea they had, but I'm not interested.
Let's see here. Dragon43 says, not sure if Gerber makes an auto OTF knife, but would you consider adding something like that to the store? My Microtech die rack is getting a bit tired.
I don't know. I don't know how much we'll get into offering knives. I don't carry a knife every day, so I have a tendency to not be obsessed with it. So I'm not sure.
That's my everyday carry over there, that red one.
Oh, you.
I got the Uline knife. I'm not sure who makes that, but it's a good knife. Works for my purposes. Scott Taylor wants to know any update with the home wash bay build.
I think Daniel should be done with engineering and the plans here in the next month or so. And then, for those of you who aren't familiar, on the podcast last week, I got a text from my friend, Bryn. And if you're not inside the Hex members, you probably wouldn't know this, but we may be buying a 26,000 square foot, 25,600 square foot building down the street here, and moving everything into one spot. And so I'm not sure what that would do for my cash. I am sure what it's going to do to my cash, and it would mean that it would postpone things like that for the time for at least a little while.
Obsessed Mobile Detailing says, I'm looking to upgrade wheels on my new detail van.
Okay.
How do you go about finding what size wheels and tires you can buy without any fitment issues?
Yeah, I mean, that's a tough thing nowadays, but it would probably be Facebook groups. In the old days, you'd go on forums, and they'd usually have a fitment guide. But a detail van is going to be kind of tricky. There's probably not a big enthusiast crew. So you'd probably have to go to Facebook groups, make some posts, maybe somebody can give you some ideas. You can usually Google search what the stock offset and sizing is. And then there's wheelfitguide.com and Fitment Industries and companies like that have some calculators, but that's a difficult thing to answer. You need to find somebody who's done it before.
Chris Keener wants to know, were you able to get your Kermit from an AD, or did you go gray market?
No, I don't have any AD that I have a relationship with. I just started with a guy, I guess I could call him a friend soon, but Adam Gonzalez owns AG, what is his company called? AG something or other. He just texted me a minute ago. What is this company called? Yeah, AG Watch Company. And so he's I'm always going to end up paying a premium for a watch, but at some point I'm going to go down to Mall Millennia and introduce myself and try to get, give them a list of watches that I'd like to have, and then see if I can get one or two here and there. But I'll probably end up buying them all gray market. Some of them make sense. I really would like to have the white gold Submariner, the black face blue dial. I'd really like to have that, and that sells for $6,000 or $7,000 under MSRP. So you'd be better off not taking that watch because you're going to buy it for less. But then watches like a Pepsi, a GMT Master is going to be $10,000-$15,000 above what you could get it for retail. So you always want to try to get them retail. I have no interest in any the Date Just and stuff like that, all the cheaper ones. I do like the Explorer 2. That's a cheaper Rolex, but it'd be great to just get a black dial regular Submariner. And buy it at the $8,500 to $8,700, and they sell for $15,000 if you buy it in the gray market.
Jeff W., that's our friend with the lightning detail that he's starting tonight. Thanks, Matt. Can't wait to get started. It's my 1-year anniversary of owning it tomorrow. I forgot to ask for glass instead of woofs, which he forgot to buy. Shame. Are you okay with CSL and XL?
You're not gonna like that. It'll work, but it gets kind of smeary on the windshield.
Dr. Phil, our buddy Dr. Phil here in the chat.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a reason that Matt was not competing in the men's elite division at the Vanguard last weekend?
Yeah,
he wasn't there.
I don't like competitions, man. Yeah. First of all, I'm not elite. Certain things I could do reasonably, at elite level, but like there's too many like gymnastics movements and stuff that I'm not any good at. And, I can't do muscle ups at that level. I can't do handstand push-ups at that level. I can't do, I can't handstand walk. I have no interest in doing that. But I've done maybe 3 competitions ever, 4. And it's like a...
I was at 2 of them, I remember.
Let's see. So I did the original Bacon Beatdown.
I was there, 2013.
Yeah, so I did that with some buddies, and and the buddies I had, I was much better than. We finished middle of the pack, but we just did it for fun. And then I did what was that zoo one? CrossFit Zoo, the very first one. That was pretty cool because I think there were like 30 guys or something in my division, and I won that. And I didn't even know I won. Like I didn't know I was winning, and I was annihilating everybody because there was some guy his score was wrong, but he was like down at the bottom, and I would look periodically. I was just doing whatever I could do. It was me and Chris Yancey and everybody from our gym and everybody from Ocala, and I won that one. It was tailor made for me. It was like one of the workouts was power cleans for time. It was like you had 3 minutes at 135 and 2 minutes at 185 or something like that, and I killed everybody in that. The other one was like a wall ball workout, and then another workout was a farmer's carry, and I just sprinted it, and people were walking with the thing. I just flat sprinted the thing and killed everybody in that workout. And then at the end, there was one workout left, which I couldn't do for squat, which was handstand push-ups, and it didn't matter. Even if I finished dead last, I still was going to win. So I did that one. I did Bacon Beatdown again with Chad and Chris Pierk. Is that how you say his name?
Pierk, yeah.
Yeah. And we did that for fun. That was the one where we had to do 5 minutes of rowing, squats, and bike. Right? So it was 5 minutes in your total score. So I did the squats, and I did 87 squats at 155, and I couldn't walk for a month. Jeremy from Armor CrossFit said, here's what you need to do. You need to do 5 and then rest 10 seconds and do 5 and rest 10 seconds, do 5. And I did that for 5 minutes straight. I did 87 squats at 155. And then the next day, remember, we had to run on the beach.
Sunday beach run.
And I almost died. Like I could not walk. It was the worst pain I've ever experienced in my life. I'll never forget that. We finished, middle of the pack, and then I think that I did the one CrossFit Pinnacle where I showed up in the elite division just to motivate myself, and I finished dead last.
Yeah, I remember that day.
And I had freaking Alex Caban counting my double unders. I think I did 200. It was supposed to be 100. The dude cannot. I'm like, dude, you cannot count. And so that was the workout I was winning. I would have won that workout, and I finished dead last in that too because he couldn't freaking count. And those are the only 4. Oh, we did one where we did it all together too. So 5 because I did another CrossFit Pinnacle, which I got screwed because the very first workout, Diane. And it's because Jamie programmed it, and he loves that workout.
Yeah. You don't fit the mold of the elite CrossFit athlete.
The problem with CrossFit competitions is it's like all day, 2 days, 3 days, and you work out for like 15 minutes. And as you get older, you do like all out 4-minute workout because they have to keep the workout short because they got to move all the people through it, and in order to get enough people through it to make enough money to make it exist. And so you do like you do 3-4 workouts in 10 hours. And you're doing like an all-out 4-minute effort, and then you're sitting around for 5 hours. And when you're 40-something years old, that's terrible, I just don't like to waste time. It's the same thing in volleyball. I hated going to like men's beach volleyball tournaments because you'd play 3 games when I could just go to the park and play 8 in 2.5 hours and go home. Especially if you win, you just stay on the court. But not in a tournament. You got to work games. It just freaking sucks.
So maybe next year, Dr. Phil, he'll make his triumphant return. He'll be weighing at 195.
I see I hit myself in the head with a barbell. I got a big old lump on my forehead. I was doing snatches this morning and freaking never did this in my life. Smashed the forehead right into the bar right into my forehead. Freaking idiot.
Well, at least you're keeping it close to the body. That's good.
God dang it. No, I think it was too far out from my body. I smashed my head into it. Gosh, it was terrible.
Super chat. $9.99 from our friend Spencer. Looking to get into a G80. Are the carbon ceramic brakes that good in terms of minimizing the dust?
100%.
My M340i is horrible in terms of brake dust.
100%.
Bryce can tell you about that. Biggest issue is finding one with
cancel everything else and just get the carbon ceramics.
Kyalami comfort seats.
Yeah. I don't like that color. It's orange.
Joe wants to know, will Sabre ever offer different drawer sizes? They only have 2 and 4? ?
No, they probably won't.
CJ wants to know, which brand of jeans did you end up going with?
Cinch.
Affliction.
Cinch. I'm
CH.
gonna try some. I'm open to suggestions. Yeah.
I'll buy your 38s off of you.
Oh, okay. There you go. They're going to be too short. They're 38-32. You probably need 38-34.
Watch tip for you. Another watch tip.
Okay.
Matt can swipe up on the watch for the control center to show.
Yeah.
And just click the bell to silence it. Is that what you figured out?
Yeah, that's what I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I got tired. No, excuse me. John W. says, So I tried out my Merca yesterday. Good grief, is it smooth. Super expensive, but worth it if you're in the detail business. Will never use my PXE80 as a 3-inch again. Trigger lock would be nice, though.
Yep. The PXE80 is terrible. It's a terrible 3-inch and a terrible 1-inch, but it does both, and so that's why people like it.
Let's see. Greg Fowler says, have you considered having a link that directs you to affiliate customer garages in order to allow future customers to touch the products before they buy? Hope that makes sense.
Yeah, maybe. Then we can make them an affiliate, so anybody who comes there uses their affiliate link, and then they get some revenue. They get paid for that. It's not a bad idea.
Man, you got all kinds of good ideas, Steve.
Yeah, I've forgotten all the other ones, so
I screenshotted all of them.
Okay, good.
Kevin says, hey guys, we visited you Monday from the UK.
Nice. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Yeah.
Just wanted to say thanks for the tour given by Ed and the time that you all gave to say hello.
I told him I was coming back, and then I disappeared. I forget. Oh, we went over to the building. I was digging into the building. Yeah, we got a little preoccupied. Sorry about that.
Yeah, thanks, Kevin. I think they said they were in Kissimmee, so they'd make the drive up. It was awesome. Happy Friday. Have you guys seen the short stubby nozzle for the Ego blowers from Ego?
Yes, we have them on order. I didn't want to order them until I got one to see if it's any good. Because I don't want to order like 1,000 of them or 2,000 of them and then find out they're junk. So, we have one to 10 or so coming, and then we'll decide what we're going to do.
Eve L. Pilot says, hey, Matt, I have a lot of small products to store for a business.
Okay.
Would you use the lev rack to maximize the space, or would you consider a different solution since it's for product storage?
Yeah, I mean, I would look into the Rousseau solution. Or Lista, but I think you're going to be smarter doing the Rousseau because Lista, you can't freaking get anything ordered. That's going to be considerably more expensive. So the lev rack is going to be more reasonable, $4,000 or $5,000 versus $25,000 for, depending on how big you're talking about. But depending on how much customization you're looking and the type and size and everything, but look into go down to the Rousseau catalog on their site. ROUSSEAU. So it's a Rousseau
Canadian.
out of Quebec. But yeah, that can be considerably more expensive, but you'll have more modular and more options.
Simon says, hey team, good morning from Australia. I joined Inside the Hex last month.
Ooh. Loving
the content and the behind-the-scenes action. The latest update is very exciting. Can't wait for further updates.
Yeah, me too.
Mike wants to know, can you use PPF over coated cars? I've been told no by Chicago Auto Pros, but I don't see why it wouldn't work.
Yes, you can. It depends. They don't want to go there because then if they have to warranty it, you're going to hold them to it if edges and stuff peel up. I don't think you're going to want a slick coating. You're going to want a grabby coating or tacky coating. So I did Optimum OptiCoat Pro, not Pro Plus, but Pro on my Brewster, and then we PPF'd over top of it, and it works great. So you want something tacky that they can grab to or that they can stick to. And I did that because of how weird that darn Brewster paint is.
Jose wants to know, do the Boss foam cannon metering tips override the knob adjuster at the top?
Check out the video on, I haven't spent as much time as Nick and Tommy did on it, so go to Obsessed Garage Shorts. I think it was a video, it's like 2 or 3 videos down the list, and see what they did some extensive playing with it. So I haven't done that yet. So I should probably watch that video.
Glamby wants to know, hey Matt, what is the maximum mileage / price and minimum year E92 you would buy if you were a normal person?
Okay.
There seems to be some decent models in the $30,000 to $35,000 range with 50K miles.
I think 50 would be a hard line for me. So I would want 30, would be, and I would be willing to pay whatever I had to pay in order to get whatever I wanted to get, depending on what the options were. But yeah, I would want, I would want less mileage. But can you really tell the difference between a 30,000 mile and a 50,000 mile car if it was well maintained? And if you're talking cars in that price range, just repaint the front clip. So, yeah, I think I'd set 50 as a number and kind of see where it takes you from there. But there's lots of 100,000 plus mile E92s, and if they're maintained and oil changed, then they're generally good to go.
All right, a few more here. When it comes to the windshield, no wolves, Jeff says. Is CSL Exo still good on other exterior glass? Congrats on the health journey, by the way. You're doing amazing.
Yeah, I do put it on all the other glass, except for I just put wolves on the windshield.
Greg wants to know, what made you go for lace-up boots versus cowboy / slip-on boots?
I don't know if I can pull off the darn lace-ups, so let's not get too ahead of it here. So I don't drooling on myself here. I definitely don't think I could pull that off. But maybe someday if I up my street cred here, I got to get my jeans worn in, a little dirty, a little dusty, and maybe I can pull that off. But I'm not sure if I can.
Matt, I know you don't typically like these types of products, but have you ever tried Griot's Foaming Poly Gloss?
Yes, I have, and I don't like it.
Matt, I would recommend the Hulk or Smurf Submariners, green on green or blue on blue. Both would match the OG cars.
Yep, I'm going to tell you what my list is, Chris, and see what I've got on my list that I want. Let's see. They're all pretty much the same thing.
They all tell you what time it is.
Yeah. Let's see. I had to disguise it because Michelle's always looking at my
data analysis.
Center data analysis. Yeah. So Batman, Sprite, Root Beer, Pepsi, White Gold, White Gold Smurf, Blue Dial, Blue Face. That's the previous gen, which is the 116619 LB. The Hulk, Blackface Date, Flat Fork Hermit, a Panda, and I just added the Explorer too. That's my collection plan. And I have the Starbucks.
There you go.
And then we'll see where we go from there. So that's only $300,000 worth of watches. So in the next 30 years, I'll get those.
Stefan says, I'm on my journey to build my individual tool collection for my new garage.
Okay.
Has 3D printing tool inlays ever been a thought at OG?
Not 3D printing, but lots of people have done the foam inlay stuff, and I don't like the way they do it, so I'm working on a solution for that.
Let's see. Hey Matt, I have a 992 GT3 as well. Just notified Porsche paused their insurance program. Do you use their services? Any suggestions on an alternative? Thanks.
No, I might State Farm, Chubb, Haggerty's, auto owners, pretty much anybody will insure it. So yeah, I don't do any Porsche insurance. I didn't even know they had it.
You have any thoughts on cotton versus silk bed sheets? Want to get the dial in the bed, but need some guidance on a a good brand to explore.
Definitely not silk.
He's sliding all over the place.
No, this is, unless you're a player or something. No. There's
Silk
sateen
sheets.
and percale, right? Those are the two types of sheets you're going to consider. Sateen has a little bit more of a sheen to it. And I think, go to Front Gate, get their hotel sheets. That's Honor the Source. Troy Reed turned me on to those and their towels. But I, depending on what you like more, I like the percale sheets better.
What if it's a waterbed? Does that make a difference?
Then
Silk.
silk. Yeah, no freaking silk. Don't do that to yourself.
All right, let's see. Greg says, I bought this house just a year ago, about to finally set up for my garage. I'll contact OG Design and build a 100% OG spec garage for the Charlotte, North Carolina area.
Nice. Let's do it.
James, our buddy up in Indiana, says, looking at getting a mini split installed in my garage.
Okay.
Was looking at Mitsubishi, but someone I know who installs them only uses Daikin brand. Anyone have comparisons on quality of brands?
Yeah, I mean, I think Mitsubishi's the standard if I have the choice, but Daikin is legit. Like legit. So I wouldn't go. And if he's your guy, it's kind of like PPF. Go with the guy, not the thing. As long as it's not, the carriers are okay. We have 2 carriers here, and they've been humming along okay. I tend to prefer Mitsubishi, but the Daikin stuff is you won't have. I doubt you have any problems with that. Pretty legit.
Oh, we might have a girl in the chat here.
Oh,
Rachel drives clean cars. Same of her channel or their channel. Griot's foaming polygloss is great for people who don't want to spend much time and are okay with a weekly wax that goes on super easily. That's obviously not Matt.
Plus, is that Rachel Riggs? Is that Brian Orr's sister? Might be.
I don't know.
Yeah, I bet you it is. What was I going to say? The problem with those type of gloss enhancing type thingies is then they tend to, not all, but tend to gum up over time. Like they tend to get gross. Like I found that with like Hydro 2 and Geon Wet Coat. If you put it on too much, because one of my original plans was to just Hydro 2 my wheels over and over and over again. And I just didn't. I tend to not like those kind of products.
This Rachel is in Washington.
The other thing you have to keep in mind is that it's placebo protection, right? So you're putting, if you were to look at it under a microscope, when you put some sort of spray sealant or spray, coating, they call it, on a car, and if you were to look at it under a microscope, there's no cross-linking. There's no connection point. When you're dealing with a regular coating, you're talking about leaving a really fine, really thin layer, and that the resin is then connected by the harder, more heavily bonding silicon dioxide or titanium dioxide little compounds or particles inside of the resin. So the resin is really the protection layer, and then the solidifier. Think of it. This is stolen from Ivan LaCroix, but think about it like Jello, a Jello mold. Think of Jello alone versus Jello with fruit in it. The fruit is the binding agent, and the fruit is what makes it thicker and heavier and more solid, and also is the thing that changes the contact angle of water and dirt as it hits the surface. So when you do something like polygloss, yes, you'll get water behavior, but water particles are very big. It's a big thing. It's a big piece, much bigger oftentimes than chemicals and dirt and stuff like that. And so if, let's say, a bird craps on your car to get some tree sap or something on your car, your chances of your polygloss, because all you have is a little bit of fruit with nothing connecting the pieces. And if you look at it under a microscope, it looks like you'll have one piece of fruit that's 2 miles away from the next. And so the bird dropping may touch 1 or 2 or 3 pieces of fruit, but it's also etching into the paint in between. And so these things are more of placebo effect than actual protection. So because it gives you water beading, because the water particle slides off the car because the polygloss changes the contact angle, but it offers little to no protection. It's the same thing with like OG drying aid. If you were to use that specifically, yes, you'll get some protection, but you're not getting any cross-linking. It's not covering the whole surface. It's just embedding itself in small patches of the surface. And so I think you want a more permanent solution.
Let's see. Matt Radford, any interest in Tudor? I've been debating on a Black Bay GMT with a Pepsi bezel.
Not really. Yeah. I don't know.
Abe wants to
I would be more Omega. I would be more interested in some of Omega stuff.
Abe wants to know, what's the best place or site to go to get wheels for my BMW X3M?
Aftermarket, I would go to like, Precision Sport Industries or like the EAG or EAS, sorry, or IND-distribution.com. If you're doing stock wheels, go to like getbmwparts.com. You can order OE wheels that way.
White Goodman wants to know, hey Matt, is Perfect Finish and Rupes Yellow Foam the best one step?
It's pretty darn good. I mean, that would be my favorite one step. But another one that I've never actually used that I could probably say is good is the Last Cut with something like Yellow Foam.
Did the Tomei exhaust sell?
Yeah,
Xavier wants to know.
Yep.
Hey Matt, you should get some of the Shine Supply's glass coating. I've had Wolf's, and I like the Shine Supply glass coating more. It's also easier to apply.
I should get some of that. That's a good idea.
Thanks, Jordan. Man, we set a new record today for good ideas. This is good. See what happens when I come back.
I'm going to steal them all and take them as my own.
All right, we'll close with this. This is a good one to end on here. Akash wants to know, what's your process of cleaning your polishing pads? I've tried multiple different methods, but they always seem to come out looking like there's still polish in the pad.
So warm water, as hot as I can stand in my hand. So I rinse it out first because most polishes are water based, and then I'll hit it with some Dawn. Right, so Dawn detergent, which is a pretty good product for getting out greases and oils, so it'll get out the mineral oil and stuff. So I'll do a little squirtaroo on that and try to squeeze out all the Dawn. And then I'll use Creo's microfiber pad cleaner. If you don't have that, you could use Micro Restore, or you could dilute it pretty heavily. Dilute it like 4-to-1 or something like that, or you could use Rags to Riches, put that in a spray bottle, dilute it 4-to-1, and now I want to get the gunk, all the detergents of the Dawn out of the pad. So I'm going to spray that on there and do the same thing, work out the soap out of the pad. You also want a pad brush like the Rupes pad tool, or whatever, the claw tool.
Claw pad.
And you can use that to scrub as well. That helps to agitate the pores, and you're just kind of squeezing it in as hot of water as you can, and do that a couple of times if you need to. That's always been my method. Now my method is sell them as a one-time use and never clean them. But not as practical for you because I buy them at like 50% off wholesale, and then I sell them at 50% off, so I break even. And then somebody else gets to clean them.
There you go. All right, thank you all for the questions today. We appreciate it. We will be back next week. Oh, wait. No, I have a super chat.
Oh.
Almost Hollywood, $9.99. Let's see if we can. Oh, there it is. I have a new black GMC and noticed some factory sanding marks.
Okay.
Paint is in otherwise good shape and had planned on a single pass with perfect finish. Suggestions for the sanding marks?
No, I mean, I would polish the whole thing, two-step likely. If there's sanding marks, there's going to be other marks as well. A single pass isn't going to do a whole heck of a lot. I would do full two-step correction on pretty much any new car, especially if there's stuff like that.
All right, there you go, Almost Hollywood. Thanks for the super chat. Thank you all for the questions. We will be back next week.
Yeah, see ya. I don't think we ended this thing last time. It just stayed up there live for a while. It was probably smart. How do we do that again?